And now I would like to invite Reverend Dr. Marjorie Schiering up to the podium to deliver our opening message. Dr. Schiering is a member of IBREA's advisory board and serves as an officer on its board of directors. She is a researcher, author, and international presenter on how to develop cognitive and metacognitive skills, as well as overt and subliminal messages in children's literature and character development. She is a full professor at Malloy College in Rockville Center, New York, in the Division of Education. Most recently, she went back to school to become an ordained interfaith minister. Thanks.
And I'm still, with all that, directionally challenged. So I got up the stairs, but getting into New York City was an adventure for me. I live in Rockland County, and it's just kind of funny because I was very nervous about this, so I went on several dry runs with my husband driving into New York City because it's not something I'd done before. And then this morning he looked at me and he said, "You can do this. You have a great brain." After going around Columbus Circle 4 or 5 times, I did find a parking garage. So I would like to welcome each of you who have braved this inclement weather, but is getting sunnier because, why? We're here. That's it. There's the connection. To come and hear speakers about brain education today. From whatever walk along life's path you've chosen to take, work-wise, friendship, caring for yourself, we come together today to learn about ourselves as individuals and as groups that have a common purpose. And that common purpose is to make our lives better and the best that we can through the education method. IBREA does not have a long United States history, as you know, or it does have a formidable one, and a beginning in 2007 with the 3rd International Brain HSP Olympiad in Ellenville, New York. This is where I met Mr. Ilchi Lee, founder of VE, and I met a lot of other brain enthusiasts. The message at that conference was focused on how we might come together as a world community, interested in peace and improvement in our health through a philosophy that espouses inner harmony, extending outward to embrace others who are of a like-mindedness. In 2008, the United Nations, IBREA, conducted the 4th International HSP Brain Education Conference in June. World-renowned neuroscientists Dr. Antonio Damasio and Dr. Jill Bolt-Taylor spoke to the audience about the chemistry of our brain and its effect on us and our lives in the physical as well as mental realms. 1 year ago today, as Marianne just mentioned a moment ago, Mayor Bloomberg proclaimed BE Day, and in August of the same year, the 5th International Brain HSP was held at the UN. And this Olympiad supported the UN Millennium Statement, which states, "Education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to the strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedom. It should promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, races, or religious groups, and shall further the action of the UN for the maintenance of peace." Personally, I attended the 2007 and August 2009 Brain Olympiad and witnessed the conversations of many who expressed their interest in the centering of peace within and outside their immediate environments. In 2007, I spoke of how, in the early 1960s, I was a teacher in the southern part of the United States when desegregation was a federal imperative, but not a reality in schools where prejudiced communities would not permit a color barrier to be broken. What I learned as a young woman was about hatred and discrimination that was based on religion and the color tone of one's skin. Does this make any sense? Are we not all human beings? Humans in the act of being? I think we are, and in order for a healthful mind, there needs to be a healthful spirit. How this is achieved, I'm inclined to think, is incumbent upon a worldview perspective that supports caring about ourselves and others. In the Old Testament, and in every religion, there is a statement that expresses the viewpoint of treating others as one would wish to be treated. How is that accomplished if there is distaste for another based on what I previously mentioned? As Aaron Katz said at the UN in 2009, it is through the inner peace which comes from the mind and how your brain thinks. And as I said at the same conference, if we turn to one another with caring and concern, by making positive statements and not putting people down, but realize we are each of value, then we have the potential enhanced for peace. And that is what brain education is about. Brain education promotes the idea of people caring about one another in a humanitarian way. Most recently, I wrote an article for Brain World magazine. It's that one that comes out came out the 8th of December. And I mentioned having respect for one another could only be achieved if one has respect for him or herself first. Brain education supports and encourages this concept, and that is one of the major reasons I chose to be part of the IBREA organization. And so many hundreds of thousands of others have also made this choice. In the over 100 national, international workshops on building self-respect through education about knowing what one is thinking, the words that came into play here have been, one has respect if demonstrating. And this is from over 200, actually it's 2,500 people. This is what they came up with and asked for a list of what does it mean to be respectful. They said it means to be demonstrating caring, concern, compassion, open-mindedness, tolerance, flexibility, kindness, consideration, being trustworthy, tolerant, pleasant, positive in nature, helpful, upbeat, fair, empathetic, and an active listener. Get it down? So I ask these questions to everyone when I conduct these workshops. Do you treat everyone you meet in this fashion? More importantly, do you treat yourself that way? How can you expect to demonstrate these behaviors to others if you don't demonstrate them to yourself? You cannot give that which you yourself do not have. Brain education is about this, with the concept of being a good world citizen.